How are we doing, folks? Good morning. Kicking off today with a little bit of Pioneer before we dive into a bunch of Standard again. This is one of the Pioneer decks that's up on my website. Feather is a deck that's felt pretty reasonable in this format. It's got pretty decent aggressive draws on the back of 10th District Legionnaire and Favored Hoplite. And then on the back of Reckless Rage and Feather, it can generate a lot of card advantage that has felt pretty reasonable in the mid-range and control matchups. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here again with this and see how it goes. We've played both Red White Feather and Naya Feather in the past, and I think I lean towards... I've got Naya Feather as the build up on my site right now, so that's why that's the one we're playing today. I think I like the splash for Blossoming Defense and Dromoka's Command. Let's see how this goes, though. Fuller N, thank you for the third of the year. Welcome back. I tried watching Green Black Self Bell on YouTube, saw the first match was against Blue White and decided to skip it, then went to the 20-minute mark, then the 30-minute mark, then the 40-minute mark, and then closed it. It was a long set against Blue White control to say the least. And to be fair, that the Blue White opponent, if you didn't catch it in that set, was against Autumn Burchett, and it's honestly one of the better matches of Magic I've played in a long time. If you're into watching two people like slog it out to like decking being a concern in one or two of the games, like it's a good set. Both the games we lost and won were very, very good. Easy mulligan here to start. No lands. Yeah, this is fine. We'll bottom out Adanto Vanguard. Okay, so it looks like we have a race to start here. This is a matchup where being three colors does cost us a little bit. So like, for example, if we're just red-white, these are basic lands, and this is a red-white duel. So our mana hurts a good bit less. I'm going to lean on Adanto Vanguard here, see how this goes. It's a little bit better against removal. You could also make the argument, though, that maybe I'm supposed to lead on 10th District Legionnaire, so that way it baits removal before, well, I hit my auto pass key. I'm actually not sure I want to save this anyways, but I definitely hit my auto pass instead of my pass in case I get priority button. That's fine. I think I'm not interested in saving that in that position, just because, like, I'm going to have this Mana Confluence hammering on my life total, too. Hey, Slow Future, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Moniz, thank you for the 12 months. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Okay, so let's get you a sword, by the way, Moniz. Go with that shield. I don't think I can take a hit from this from the turn. So I think I'm going to go ahead and 10th District Legionnaire. I think I'm actually going to play a little bit of defense here. I'm going to go ahead and play this, kill their thing. And yeah, let's stop that. So we can Feather plus God's Willing up next turn. This will force them to have a removal spell. Yeah, like that style of deck even makes my Twitch chat frustrating at times, Tofu Cow. Like, people who are used to having, like, well-structured rules. So, like, in a normal Twitch chat, I gotta imagine it's just completely rancid. People, like, forget cards cost mana and, like, all sorts of other things that are just miserable. Alright, if we can draw a Dromoka's Command or another Reckless Rage, we'll be in a very good spot here. So they'll pump All God's Willing. We take one here, but we don't take a hit. And they spend their mana. And I get a scry. Expedite. Yeah, that sounds good. That one draws me a card. Hey, Boston, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. Oh, did he not know how to execute the combo? That's playing that deck without knowing how to execute the combo is a decision, for sure. I'm glad we played Naya again today. We'll see how the mana base goes. We might win this game in spite of the mana. Dreadhorde Arcanist here is going to be able to, do I play around a Fatal Push here? I feel like I'm not going to be able to beat a Fatal Push at some point, so I'm not going to play around it. If they push this in response, I lose my God's Willing. But this makes it bigger, and it gives me 2 Scry 1s, which are valuable. They have Urborg, so they have perfect. Kind of just looking for lands that don't hurt us at this point. Oh, you know what? I totally should have played the Arcanist, right? This was bad. I did bottom this card. I did bottom this card. Yeah, I go live about 8 a.m. Dominator. I guess this card kills us relatively quickly. Yeah, definitely should have put Arcanist into play there. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. Oh, did I do this at their end step? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to cast it on my turn. You're right. My timing here was wrong. I should have done this on their main phase. We're just kind of on autopilot. Am I looking? I think I'm just bottoming that. I just need a Reckless Rage and I get another Scry here. Yeah, sure, Crunchy. I'm down. Oh, I forgot to update the Stream Decker. Good call. So they have no cards in hand at the moment, but they have 5 attackers. And I'm currently set to take 1 on their upkeep, right? So, like, the fact that I didn't Arcanist last turn's a really big deal. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose because of a combination of not playing the Arcanist last turn and this Mana Confluence. If they just attack with everything next turn, I guess I end up still alive. My Mana Confluence no longer has text though. So like I go to 5. If they attack with everything, I go block here, block here, block here. Then they pump these trade. I Blossoming Defense. This eats this. This eats this. I go to 1, but then I like don't really have anything going on. Yeah. The fact that I played Expedite and was greedy to try and hit a red source and didn't. Maybe I should have played this the same turn I Expedited, and just not held up. Oh, crap. You know what? That's another mistake. I know you just said Mana Confluence adds Black Mana Kappa, but it is relevant because I could have cast this off of the black for Mana Confluence, right? And then I would be able to God's Willing and Blossoming Defense here. And if I could God's Willing and Blossoming Defense, I could keep 2 creatures. I guess I get to keep 2 creatures regardless because I do this. I definitely messed this up. Like, pretty badly. Both by playing this a turn late and by not casting it off the Mana Confluence. So, like, my mana base definitely hurt me this game. Like, I took, I don't know, probably like 6 points off my mana here. But I also would be winning this game in spite of those 6 points if I had played better. Which is one of the things that's hard to differentiate, right? Like, it's really easy to, like, write this game off as, oh, well, Jeff messed up. They might be dead next turn. Maybe. If they have nothing. If they drew a removal spell here, I'm just like in a ton of trouble. They're just pumping. Okay, yeah, are they dead? Are they dead on the backswing? So I go to 1. These trade. Stop on my turn. So this is 6, 9. Damn, she's fine. Hey, thanks for the tip, Crunchy. I appreciate it. Get that added to the list after try to figure out some math here really quick. So this is 9. I need to get 9 more. This is 3 more. Right? This is plus 3. This is 3, 4, 5. So that's not enough. So I just need to draw. I think I just draw. Was that a good draw? I'm in for another end source, I think. They have 1 card in hand. We die to land Rankle here. But other than that, in a pretty okay spot. I guess I missed a free counter here, right? I could have just, like, Blossoming Defense this and got it back and still had God's Willing and Defense up. That's a small mistake. That's 4 mana. Is it a Rankle? They have a Mutavault, Zentoth, so if they go land Rankle, they have 3 attackers. I only have 1 card, so this is free. It's gonna make my thing bigger. I know there's a card on top of my deck that I want, so it's just me putting a 1/1 counter on my thing. Yeah, the fact that Mana Confluence has been our red source, but like again, I took extra damage this game because I played poorly. So like if I had played better, we would be in better shape here. So I'm in the spot I'm in because I made mistakes this game. Is like a really important distinction to make. That's lethal, right? I knew that was coming. Sorry, I was supposed to scry stuff to the bottom. Yeah, we're dead. That's super unfortunate. Yeah, so that game loss is pretty solidly on me. I'd have won that game with better play, almost assuredly. These cards don't seem very good. Swift Strike and Magma Spray both seem great. 16 creatures. I think 16 creatures is fine. Yeah, do you want the Adanto Vanguards? Yeah, they had 4 lethal attackers. I had 2 blockers and a Reckless Rage. For people wondering why I conceded there. Is Rip not worth it to stop the recursion? Obviously, I don't think so, because I'm not boarding it in. No, I don't think I can cut more threats. Again, like, something people do incorrectly with this archetype a lot of the time is they try and become a full-on control deck. You can't board out all your creatures. Half your cards don't work without creatures. So you have to maintain a threat tool balance while sideboarding with a deck like this. So yeah, if I had played the Arcanist, or even if I'd even just had 1 extra red mana on that 1 key turn, we would have had more to do there. Like that first game was a good example of like really small mistakes adding up very quickly to cost us the game. I'm gonna keep this. Like mulliganing to 5 against a deck full of Thoughtseizes is like means you're gonna lose most of the time, so I'd rather not. Lotus, Kisses, Soul Flare, decks that really lean on the graveyard, or what that's there for. Yay! Magic! Yay! And like the important thing to remember too is like if we end up losing this game through no fault of our own, we did punt the first match, so this is kind of how Magic goes. There are frequently games where you just like there's nothing you can do, but there's also games where you have a lot of player agency. So we'll see. Top of our deck could be really, really kind. I'm going to concede when we draw 1 more break. Mono Black is so resilient. I mean, like, it's fine. Like the first game, like, it's so weird to me when, like, I sit here and talk about how we lost a game even though we were like, certain to win because I, like, made a bunch of play mistakes and people are like, wow, their deck was really powerful. And it's just like, you listen to the words I'm saying? You listen to the words I'm saying? Like... Like we lost a game where my choice of having a 3rd color cost us hit points, and then my in-game decisions cost me more hit points, and then we lost an incredibly close race where both my deck building and in-game choices cost me points of life. Good, we get a do-over here. Let's do it, chat. It's a good pickup. I'm just going to jam this one. It's a 1-3 that blocks okay. I've got plenty of threats, so like if they kill this, it's not too big of a feel bad. This can't block, so might as well attack in, because I'm not blocking. Murder Shredder. I think I pumped the brakes for a second here. I guess I can't block with both, so I might as well attack with one. This prevents all damage will be dealt to until end of turn after it gets targeted by a spell. So I can throw it in front of Scrap Heap here. Hey, Urvik, thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. So I wouldn't be too surprised to just get like Fatal Push or Murderous Rider here. It denies us the card draw and doesn't kill their creature. Hopefully it's just another Murderous Rider. Drag to the Underworld. It's an interesting one. So we don't get to draw a card with this, unfortunately, because our spell's countered. Because it loses its only target. Alright, I think I just do this now and try and hit a land. So that way if it's a tap land, we can put it into play tapped. Perfect. So we'll take 3 in combat from the Scrap Heap Scrounger this turn and get to block the Dread Wanderer. And then on our turn, we'll play Feather out. And then we'll have Feather with God's Willing up and be in a pretty reasonable spot. They're down to 2 cards in hand. We're going to be stabilizing at 6-ish. Three, 6, 9. Damn, she's fine. God's Willing Feather one more time. Do do do. Do 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 do. All right, so really need to draw a Reckless Rage here, huh? Kind of in trouble now. We're going to 5. Double threat with one of them being Spawn of Mayhem as their last 2 cards is really brutal. Thought we were looking to be okay and stabilize, but wait, did they just no attacks? Thank you for your gift, opponent. They definitely should have attacked with everything. Huh. Reckless Rage. Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless Rage. Do 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 beep beep beep. All right, they let fear into their dojo, and it's gonna let us back into this game, chat. Yeah, the no attack there is real weird. Now we just get to, like, firmly take the game over. To be fair, with Reckless Rage on top of our deck, even if they'd attacked last turn, we might have still been okay. But if we hadn't drawn the Reckless Rage right away, they would have given us more breathing room. Let the rat-a-tat-tat of the Reckless Rage commence. Yeah, decks like the opponent's deck just can't cut through this, especially when we have a God's Willing to protect it. Yes, I can stay there. So, like, they exile this in response, but it's really not a big deal. Standard Jeskai big combo. You mean the Biomancer deck, Time Lord? Perfect. Sounds great. Excited to get back to that one. I threw that one up on the website. So again, doing this during their main phase, so that way I get it back at their end of turn. Yeah, they know the game is over. Alright, so we're going to board the same way we boarded last time. Justices and Magma Sprays in. Expedite. Two Gideons and a Vanguard out. Gideon's a card I like to trim in the other aggressive matchups. Even though the life gain off this card is good, this card's largely in our deck to give us some resilience against decks that are playing lots of sweepers. The fact that this is a threat that opposing aggressive decks can just attack down tends to make it quite bad a lot of the time. I think it's not something you want in matchups like this. Doing all right, Packers fan. Jacob's school had a late start this morning. They started an hour later than normal. So naturally that means he woke up way earlier than normal. So like yesterday on a normal start day, he woke up I had to drag him out of bed at 6:15. Today, on a day where he could have slept till 6:30 or 6:45, he was awake at 5:30. Because that's just how kids work, chat. Their internal clock's like, no. And they screw with you, I swear. Maybe this hand probably shouldn't have been a keep against the Thoughtseize deck. I have, like, the Hoplite with the cantrip and a bunch of good spells, but, like, if they Thoughtseize my threat, I, like, need to draw a land, and I need to draw threats at this point, which is not great. Alright, well, there's one of the two. See if we can get a little bit lucky. Up all night to get lucky. Do. As a former child. Ooh, Mutavault, sure. Am I just spraying this? I think I'm just spraying this. Just Stone Rain them. They're probably doing this because they know about the Magma Spray and they want to play a recursive threat, but I think it's important that I just get that down. It might be right to wait for a green mana for this to protect it from something, but like, if I leave it in my hand, it could just get Thoughtseize, and the upside to having Arcanist in play here is huge. Make sure when they get to be teenagers, you remind them of all the times they woke you up. Well, we just need some lands. Liliana's Triumph's an interesting one. I wonder if they play that because of Soul Flare. I'm trying to think like what decks in this format require edicts. This is a good example of why playing the threat out even when we don't have protection up is important, just because like it's not safe in your hand. Wow, we're super dead, huh? Is Edict good against Scissors? It's kind of mediocre there, right? Ooh, it is okay against Trawler. That's a good thought. Alright, the third land and double Reckless Rage means that if we draw a Favored Hoplite, we can kill this Regisaur. We do currently have a full house. Alright, fourth land means that we can draw a 2-drop and potentially Reckless Rage this Regisaur, so that's nice. I'm not dead yet. Okay, now we're dead. Okay, got it. Now we're dead. If we lose at Magic, at least we win at poker. Yep. I feel like after these games, I've talked myself out of the Green Splash. Last time we played the Green Splash, it felt okay, and I said I felt like we needed more games with it. The cost has been high for the Green Splash so far in these games. Both the cost on our life total and the cost on being able to cast our spells. Ooh. Dromoka would like to have a word with you. You get a counter, you fight you. Get in for 3. But you sleep through everything? Yeah. When my kids were little, I often tried to be the one to get up with them because Christy always had a much harder time falling back asleep than I do. So like me waking up with the kids was like less of a big deal because I could be like back down in a few minutes once we took care of whatever they needed. So I don't have any protection spells here anyway, so I think we just jam Feather to have threat density. And like if they don't have a Doom Blade, we're like super far ahead. Thanks for the half a year, Red Winter. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, that's another thing too. Even if you are a heavy sleeper, you'll probably end up adjusting a little bit to your kid. It's like a nature thing. Just dead. All right, fair. Guess they didn't have a land or didn't have a removal spell. Yes, fine. Needs a second white source, but spells are good. Relatively aggressive. Has a little bit of interaction, a little bit of protection. Although without the second white, the protection is going to be a bit slow. Okay. I think this deck is a pretty okay matchup against these green decks just because Reckless Rage is like so efficiently costed. It's the best Pioneer deck to bring to a tournament for like winning. One with 8 copies of this card. I think the black aggro deck's also okay if you want to be interactive. But I think the decks with elves are head and shoulders above the decks without elves in them. We played a green splash red stomping deck somewhat recently on stream that felt pretty good. Okay, that's an excellent draw. Definitely shocked to hold up God's Belay. Maybe I'm supposed to Reckless Rage here. Do this in response. They don't have mana. Hardened Scales isn't a well-established archetype in this format, so they may or may not be splashing. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Now they get to put a counter on the Thopter, right? This puts counters on 2 things when it enters. Yeah, okay. I'm dumb. Whoopsie poopsie. Yeah, should have waited, obviously. They would have targeted this and I'd killed it in response, and then they'd only have a 4/4 and be able to attack in pretty cleanly here. I think I'm on the 10th District Legionnaire attack with everything, kill the Thopter plan. Deal. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna need to see another spell here. Guess it depends on how good their last couple of cards are, too. I think I just let this trade happen. Just like trading 1-for-1. Just like hold the God's Willing to blow out a removal spell. It's like, if I draw a feather, having the God's Willing held in my hand has a very large amount of upside. Yeah, the Nivmatic deck for Standard looks sweet. Really, really neat take. Its curve's a little bit chunky. Like, it literally doesn't have things to do before turn. Gross. Doesn't have things to do before... before turn 3. So we'll see. It's got a bunch of Othakayas, though, so maybe it's okay against aggro anyways. Okay. Okay. Oh, we're halfway there. take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, do 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 do. Break for me a turn. This is pretty aggressive. They don't have a removal spell in hand here. We're gonna be in a good spot. Yes, that is how that works, 30 digits. So if you block, you let them order attackers, and then you give protection to the one that they've ordered first. Is it crazy to just eat both of these and go to 1? Because I'm dead to Walking Ballista either way, right? That's their reach. Yeah, I think I just go to 1. I'm not going to play her under removal spell because I just need action and I need to get this 10th District Legionnaire big enough to kill their thing. So we're going to do this during their main so we get it back at their end step. And then we're going to do it again on my upkeep. Wait, is that lethal? That's lethal, right? This is 8. That's 9. Yeah, that's lethal. Alright. Worth noting. Gotta target with this first. So that way it can get through. Yeah, sick. Close win. Close win. Blossoming Defense putting in some work there. Now, one thing that I feel like I still might end up putting red-white as the list on my site, because, like, this card is very similar to Blossoming Defense. It gives 1/1 and indestructible, as opposed to 2/2 and hexproof, which is very similar in a lot of situations. I think this is a Swift Justice matchup. So, in my defense, I never said I expected them to be oppressive so much as I expected them to be very splashable. And what we've seen so far, and based on my experience, is that they seem to cost enough mana that they're not going into everything. We've definitely played with and against a number of decks that have felt competitive with that combo in it. But I definitely don't think my original assessment of every deck that has white mana wants to play this combo, that seems like it was wrong. I will say that the 2-card just kill you combo nature of it does feel extremely bad in a similar way to Saheeli Cat combo feeling bad. So I do think that unless Saheeli Cat combo had some kind of absurd win rate, which if I recall it was like number 2, I think they said, under Green Devotion, it does still feel weird to me that, like, they banned Cat combo, but all these other 2-card combos are allowed to exist. Like, I think the Inverter of Truth deck and the Heliod Ballista combo, like, the fact that both of those are legal in this format, while other things aren't necessarily, feels strange to me. Okay, so we get a really clean turn here. Green Splash getting to flex its muscles a little bit. We get to make target player sacrifice an enchantment. This fights this, because this gets bigger when we target it with something. So we get to say, hey, 2/3, fight this, you lose your Hardened Scales. Yeah, Canister's been playing it a bunch. It was in a 5/0 deck dump. So there is a blue-black combo deck that plays Inverter of Truths along with Dig Through Time, Thassa's Oracle, and 4-mana Jace. That's very competitive. It's also incredibly hard to interact with because removal spells aren't good enough. You have to have counter spells or discard spells. Planeswalker removal can work if you target the Jason response. Thanks for the 5 months, Casper Lynch. And we're not too proud here. We can make an estimation, look at the data and admit that you're maybe a little off base. Yeah, that's the other part of it too. The fact that their combo deck gets to play Thoughtseize themselves is a huge deal. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. Tocatli Honor Guard interacts with that. I mean, I don't really think it's that wild that Inverter of Truths is competitive. Like, if you think about it and, like, look at a card like Devoted Druid, like, Devoted Druid's a really bad card in a vacuum, too. Or, like, other cards that enable Devoted Druid. Like, what's it, Vizier of Remedies? Yeah, Hushbringer could be something that you play, too. It's evasive. Hey, Sunshine, thanks for the big tip. I appreciate it. Towards a Jeskai Fire's deck of whatever you want to build that includes Tectonic Giant. Hey, thanks. Sounds good. Reckless Rage. Almost feels bad to scry what I want to the top because we got another scry in there, but whatever. Making their screws a 5/5 before I draw is very smart. It was kind of silly, Tuna. It was very, very silly. Let's see if they attack with everything here. They did not. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and Reckless Rage one of these tokens. And then I'm going to God's Willing this protection from green next turn. Hey, Fatso, thanks for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. So we'll give this pro green. Sure. It's a free pump and a cantrip. And a scry. So if they have a removal spell, we could be in trouble here. Otherwise, we are racing a little bit, kind of. But I say that that's one of the best decks in the format. Now, what deck? Physical Tuna? Sorry, we talk about a lot of things. Maybe I'm just supposed to rage. Yeah, I'm probably just supposed to rage here. Just gonna get Hydra, sure. Sultai Reclamation. No. Deck's definitely not one of the best decks in the format. I think it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of really sweet play patterns in it. But it is a far cry from being anything close to the best deck in a format. Deck is very, very low power level. Had a lot of sweet synergies in it. my favorite? I mean, definitely not. Are we dead? I guess we're not just dead. Played the deck once, had a bad record with it. It's kind of slow. I don't know that, like, decks that, it has neat play patterns, but, like, definitely a little bit tedious. I think we're just dead here. Alright, let's try the third game on the play, huh? Also, in case you're new here, you'll never hear me declare something be the best deck in a format after having played 4 matches with it. Like, anybody who does that's dumb enough that you shouldn't listen to them. They're either anybody who plays a deck for 4 matches and tells you it's the best deck in the format based on nothing else is either stupid or lying to you, and in either case, they're not worth spending your time on. Can't it be both? Sure. Yeah, they're definitely, those two things are definitely not mutually exclusive. Sure, but like, if they're trying to sell you something, they're lying to you to try and sell you something. So like, that still falls under lying. I'm gonna keep this and draw a threat. There's so much of that going on in the Legends of Runeterra community at the moment. Yeah, I mean, like, so, especially when formats are new, and, like, I mean, to be fair, classifying things as the best deck gets you a lot of clicks. Like, the culture in which we live rewards people for being disingenuous and dishonest. Like, if you tell, like, there's a reason why, you know, half the time you see people like, playing best deck in the format, I'm the top player at the top rank, it's the best. Like, there's a reason why, like, just being genuine and honest isn't, like, the norm. You don't generate hype by being like, no, let's wait and see, let's figure it out, let's learn more. And Runeterra especially, the way Runeterra works with its card acquisition system, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't take a really long time for people to figure out what's good, because like the way that economy is set up is awful for actually figuring out you know, what is good or not. That 100,000 MRI, 1K IQ, big brain, top ladder players. Yeah, it's just, you know. I think we're dead here, huh? I have to do this at least. If I draw a feather this turn, we could maybe be okay. So I get to, like, start Reckless Raging them. I think we have to draw a feather like this turn, though. Can you tell us to wait and see one more time? Gets me so hyped. How much do you as a person bother qualifying your opinions by telling people in your opinion when something has to be one versus when there's a general consensus something's factual provable? In general, as someone who has a lot of experience interacting with the internet and specifically the Magic community, I try to go out of my way to include the words "in my opinion," even when something is very clearly an opinion, because people are both stupid and lazy and intellectually dishonest and looking to take things out of context. So, like, if you don't explicitly include that, they're going to have people that try and give you issues. And like, obviously, those people aren't worth engaging with and like block and mute and whatever anyways, but including that little extra thing makes it much harder for you to get sound bitten and taken out of context. And like, in a perfect world, that's not something I should have to worry about, but in reality where I live, it is. Lead on Arcanist here. This 5 actually came together quite well, especially with this Reckless Rage draw. If we hit a untapped land for next turn, we'd be in a pretty good spot. Shake my earth, baby. Let's do one, yep. Dreadhorde can't block this turn. If we don't draw a land, I might just pass the turn. Just hold up a blocker. We did draw a land. That's exciting. Did I just tap off of my Blossoming Defense? I just tapped off of my Blossoming Defense. I'm used to my protection costing white. It's early. This league, there's been a lot of slops in this league. Yeah, Mana Symbol. Life is short. Like, I'm a big proponent of the family you choose. So, give your time and your energy to people who treat you with respect and people who put the best interest of you and your family as a priority. Gosh, it's really a whole new era. People don't know who Delver of Secrets is. Welcome to the next generation. Moments before the accident here, chat. Bottom that. Block this. Take 2. Attack next turn. Flashback. Reckless Rage. Reckless Rage. Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless Rage. That's fantastic against the red deck, too. And Dromoka's command can put a 1/1 counter on Dreadhorde Arcanist, so that way it can flash back Dromoka's command, which is great. I'm pretty flexible and easygoing in most aspects of my life. It's just a lot of people take the fact that, like, I have some issues where there's no ground to give on as meaning I don't give ground on any issues. My two issues I don't have to give ground on primarily are, 1, people in a first world country should never be filing for bankruptcy as the result for getting sick, and 2, climate change is real and needs to be addressed. Those are my two big no budge issues. Wild slash A. I think I want to save my Dreadhorde Arcanist. What about anti-vax? Anti-vax is a tough one. Obviously, those people are giant idiots, but they don't necessarily directly impact my kids. Probably would feel different if my kids had some kind of sickness that prevented them from getting vaccinated. Like, obviously, don't be dumb. Vaccinate your kids, please. Are they dead next turn? I think they're dead next turn. So I get 1/1 counter here. This fights this. You don't want people in concentration camps? What a dirty liberal. Ooh, that's rough. Okay, so getting punished for putting the counter here. So these trade now. Wanted to put the counter here to give myself the flexibility to... I guess maybe that's just wrong. Because, like, if I wanted to play... They could have had, like, a wild/2, and I kill them there if my thing lives. See, I think I should have just put the counter on my thing so it didn't die to a shock or a plus like this. But the auto-clicker installed, this is how I get my dopamine once per month. Bits or a sub-gift once a month to get you some channel points. Is that an actual Sideshow Bob quote? Vaccines are terrible. Vaccines do result in a lot more adults, and most adults do suck. You're not wrong. Because we had Blossoming Defense in the bin. Terran Terror, which was +3. It's like we hit them to 4 last turn, and we lost to 5/5. So if I would have kept my 5/5, they would have died. Correct, yep. Yeah, could still flash that back regardless. Oh, that's a good one. So the way Dreadhorde Arcanist and Feather interact is exactly the way we want them to. So... Oh, actually, I can put a 1/1 counter here, and then have this fight this, and then this turns into a 3/4 and it prevents the damage, so it lives. So Dromoka's command is going to come back to our hand. Because this gets a counter just by getting targeted, and it gets that damage prevention clause. Now they have to chump block, whereas otherwise they could have, yeah. Alright, so red aggro. We've played against a lot of aggro in this league, which Vanguard and Gideon are just not good against. Swift Justice and Magma Spray are. Call it a day. Yeah, Hoplite's great. 1/1 counter, prevent all damage will be dealt to it till end of turn. Real good. someone else can correct me if I'm wrong, but I did a little bit of reading about the virus thing that's been going around. And from my reading, there haven't been healthy adults that have been dying from it so far. And there haven't been deaths in non-China yet, right? Heron Q, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Like, definitely, like, you know, wash your hands and, like, avoid extras at, like, you know, like, don't like, avoid living your life because of, like, what is going on in the news, right? Yeah, children and people with compromised immune systems already. There's some concern that China is misreporting the scale of infection over there. Sure, that's a real concern. I would believe that. That's something that's definitely in their best interest to be hiding. What am I keeping here? Bunch of subs there. Leva Battle Angel, thanks for the 15 months. Lord of the Pearl Trident, 15 as well. Greyhound Dog, good morning. What am I shipping here? I think I'm bottoming the God's Willing. Because, like, this protects itself when we target it anyways. Yeah, the last time we played this list, there was a lot of blue-white control in the format. Alan with 92, welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're at in the world. Yep. My view on pro-choice versus pro-life is that anybody who says that they are pro-life but doesn't want to feed those kids and clothe those kids and make sure they have an education and a dignified life is a fucking hypocrite who doesn't actually care about life. They just care about controlling women's bodies. That's what I think. I think in a perfect world, what you're supposed to do, if you're actually pro-life, you should be trying to build a society in which no one feels like having to terminate a pregnancy is their only option, because they have social safety nets that allow them to always take care of the children that they're going to have. That should be the goal. The goal should be sex education and then making sure that people have the resources available to them, that they don't feel like that's a choice they need to make. But we definitely don't live in a society where those things are true. Compare what people in other developed countries get in terms of maternal leave compared to what we get in the United States. Compare what childcare costs in the United States compared to other developed countries. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. I think we have to play defense here at this point. Blossoming Defense is like one of the few non-land draws here that I think we keep because we need to protect our threats. Fuck off, Bloodbath. That statement is completely ignorant and not based in reality, and it's just downright hateful. That's not welcome here. Get out of my community. You and people like you are part of the problem. Your statement is founded in fear and ignorance. Get out of here. I think I'm just casting Defiant Strike here. If they have a Wild Slash, they have a Wild Slash. I did. How long were they subbed for? They had a mod sword, so they were here over a year. They were a 1.5 subscriber. They can get out of here. Alright, what are we doing? So they only have 2 cards. It feels like they don't have a Doomblade. They could have like another Lightning Strike that they couldn't cast last turn. Getting Arcanist into play is pretty big upside here though. Maybe I'm just supposed to play Hoplite out, since it puts a threat while still holding Blossoming Defense up here. Goblin Chain Whirler plus Soulscar Mage is just so disgustingly good. What's your opinion on trying to allow the local government to have more problems to be better at resolving these issues? I think saying it's better for the local government to resolve issues that impact largely everyone in the United States is nonsense. Because then people have to deal with different regulations and things when they change cities or towns or counties. And it just doesn't make sense to make people do that. Alright, so there's a land, so we get to stick Dreadhorde Arcanist here while still holding up Blossoming Defense. And this can flash back Reckless Rage starting next turn, which is appealing. Don't play a third one. Scrapclimb Berserker, sure. That one's blockable by Arcanist here. Alright, so what are we doing? I think we're... So, Mana Confluence is again really hurting here. So I think we just play like they don't have a Wild Slash because we can't beat it. And we block like this. We Blossoming Defense 10th District Legionnaire. Yeah, the green splash, like, and this is why it's important to play more games and get a bit of feel for things. Like, last time we played the green splash, it felt pretty whatever, like, relatively free and good upside. This set, the mana base has been rough. It's hurt us a lot. We played a lot of aggressive matchups, and it's not been great for us. Okay, so I think we're dead. If I draw an untapped land here that doesn't hurt me, we might have a shot. Yeah, so I could feather, attack Reckless Rage, recast Reckless Rage, but then I go to 1 and I'm exactly dead. So like our mana base again really, really hurt us here. Think I'm happy with how I boarded. I'm just going to go ahead and run it back. But yeah, and that's a good observation too. The last time, if you go back and watch the last time we played Naya Feather, we played against largely control decks, which makes sense why the mana felt relatively free, and this league's been a smorgasbord of aggro. Thanks for the 16 months, more Trex. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping around. Yeah, Scam Clan. Scam Clan is also, like, pretty uniquely good against us. It's a good red card in general. I've seen a lot of the red deck sideboarding that. It's very good against, like, the Lotus combo deck. Sure. I think this hand's keepable on the play. I think the Sand's capable on the play. Would really love to draw a 1 or 2 mana creature in our first 2 draws. Nah, I don't tag videos on SFW if I swear once. Yes, I'm very, very pro-choice, King. There's more nuance to that discussion, and a lot of the times people like to try and like just trying to boil that discussion down to are you pro-choice or pro-life is trying to make it very reductionist to try and appeal emotionally to very specific things for people to try and avoid a very complicated conversation. So if you go back and listen to the replay, you'll hear me talk about some of the nuance I feel that goes into there. But again, so because my opponent's not putting any pressure into play here, and I have 5 lands plus this, I'm just going to go ahead and wait to play Feather till I have 5 lands. Let's do this. So this can prevent damage an instant or sorcery would deal, so it does protect Feather in these red matchups. Correct, Crazy Duck. Well, I mean, like, and part of the problem, too, is the framing around the healthcare discussion in the United States is that, like, a lot of people have a very bad foundation in mathematics. Like, as someone who's taught math, there's a lot of people out there who don't even understand how to calculate compound interest, much less explaining the nuance of the comparisons of, like, what their employer pays for healthcare and what they pay and other things like that nature. They just don't get it. They're not educated enough to understand that. So we'll go put a 1/1 counter. Prevent all damage into a sorcery spell would deal. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So if they have 4 damage at instant speed here, they can kill my thing. So they need like double wild slash, stomp. Oh, I suppose just stomp does it too though, right? If they stomp, it stops Dromoka's command from preventing damage. Okay, so they kill their thing, which feels bad, but we got a 2 for 3 there. We're technically up on cards. Oh! This still had a target, so we get it back. That's so sick. That's so great. Yeah, it was a 3. I didn't realize this was coming back because the lava coil was still on the stack, right? So normally when they kill the thing you're targeting, while Feather's out, your spell gets countered on resolution and doesn't exile. But because the lava coil was still on the stack, this had a legal target, so it still got exiled and came back. That's great. That's unfortunate. That's like the one removal spell in their deck that punishes us here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a card here to try and find a threat or a God's Willing or a Blossoming Defense. Really hoping to draw our haste threat next turn. If we find our haste threat, we're going to be in an okay spot. If we don't, we're going to fall behind very quickly. Yep. If like. Alright, so we have a 1-turn window to draw a card. We have to take 4 to cast non-creature spells. Like that's dealing 2, and this is dealing 2. Very dead. Yeah, wow. I feel like we were in such a good spot this game. And then like the double removal into the Chandra so we couldn't protect this threat as well. Into the just Berserker for infinite pressure. I'm going to play one more here because I like this archetype. Maybe we can get our $5 back in the league, but I am going to sit and think about what list I want on my site after this. And I think it is just going to be straight red-white. I'm glad I played the green again today to get a wider range of games, but we've definitely seen some of the good downside of the green splash in these games. And I think if I want some more protection than just God's Willing, which I might, Ajani's presence is probably fine. It pumps it a little bit and protects the thing. Hey, by the way, for people who enjoy Pioneer, did you know there's 2 different Pioneer Pro Tours this weekend? Because I didn't realize that until recently. People who are heavily involved in Magic, did you realize that there's a Pro Tour this weekend? Yeah, so the Players Tour events are regional, and there's 2 different regional Pioneer Players Tours this weekend. The US one is next weekend. The US one is next weekend. I am not joking. I am not joking. There are 2 this weekend. Hey, Terran Terror, thanks for the biddies. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. I wonder how many more organic viewers Wizards could drum up if they just, like, instead of spending money paying for fake views for their streams, what if they, like, took their money and, like, paid to advertise on large Magic Twitch streams that happen daily? And they don't even have to give money to me because I know I'm never going to get their money. They don't like me. But, like, what if they paid Caleb and Newmont and Crokies and, like, the other people that they like to, like, just, like, have a banner in their corner that says, hey, there's a Pro Tour this weekend. Watch on Twitch, twitch.tv/magic. Because it's mind-boggling to me how often people are just, like, people who are here in my chat who watch a lot of Magic on Twitch who are like, I had no idea there was Magic on Twitch this weekend. So, like, Wizards is, like, spending money to, like, pump up their views, but they're not spending a little bit of effort to, like, reach people who are already engaged in their product and would want to watch it. Thanks for the 10 months, Tafara. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And King Tower, thank you for the 16. And those are the types of little things where someone who has experience in the industry could look at their stuff and just be like, hey, you should probably do this low effort thing that would help your product. Historic's never going to converge with Pioneer. Historic already contains cards that are not Pioneer legal. Yeah, the fact that they don't leverage Twitch drops, I think, is a big failure on their part, too. If they were smart, they would leverage Twitch drops. For people who aren't familiar with what Twitch drops is how you can link up a game account with your Twitch account and earn free in-game stuff for watching that game on Twitch, especially for big events. Golden Oreo Minio, thanks for the 10 months. A lot of games, even if it's just like promos or cosmetic stuff, you'll get like a I watched X event skin or card back or whatever, depending on what game you're playing. I mean, Arena definitely could do it. It's not about whether or not they can do it. It's about whether or not they want to do it. Hey, Punter, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Twitch and Arena are connected. You get a free deck. That's not an actual connection, Naker. That's just putting a promo code in. So like you don't. What I'm talking about is your accounts are actually linked, and then an account link doesn't exist. So this stomp gets countered because it says hexproof, so they lose their Bone Crusher Giant. Feather is a 1/2 because it got shrunk, but it still exists, so that's nice. Thanks for the half a year, Adrian. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They have 2 cards left here. I'm going to get to deploy a bunch of blockers this turn, which is nice. Extra green source here is an absurd draw because it lets me hold up double defense, which is great. With 2 more blockers and double defense up here, we have a real shot this game, I think, especially stabilizing at approximately 9. Yeah, I agree, Marty. One of the best cosmetics Hex had was their battle boards were gorgeous. For people who didn't play Hex, it was an old digital card game that I streamed a bunch of forever ago. The game board that you played on, there were versions you could earn or buy as cosmetics that were really well done and put together. Rangernos, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. If I do this, yeah, just do this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Blossoming Defense, 10th District Legionnaire. They have a Wild Slash here. We could get in a little bit of trouble. They do. Okay, so now I have to decide, do I want to save Feather or do I want to save 10th District Legionnaire? I think the answer is save Feather. Because this is going to get a second power. So I'm going to take 2. This is going to die. These are going to live. These are going to live. I'm going to have 2 Blossoming Defense in hand. Yeah, I'll take another threat. Alright, their thing that makes a bunch of attackers is gone. They're going to enter the battlefield, hate cards outside of White and Pioneer. I don't think so. Torpor Orb is not legal. Oh, right. I'm only getting 1 defense back because the Legionnaire died. That makes things harder. Maybe I should have bottomed this Hoplite then. I was thinking I had 2 Blossoming Defenses coming back to my hand, but I definitely didn't. Yeah, I think I messed that up. Feels like they don't have a removal spell or they would have attacked, so I'm going to go ahead and just get a counter on this now. If they have a removal spell, I don't think I can win, so I think I'm just supposed to pump these up while I can. So, I can't beat a removal spell anyways. If they have it, they would have played it, so definitely just like, here to jam. In fact, probably should have done this on my turn too, right? So I missed a counter on one of these. And now that both of these are bigger, I might be able to play through a removal spell just because they're 2/3s now. Trying to figure out the best way to interact with blue-black inverter. Thoughtseize and counterspells. Discard and counterspells. Removal spells and other things don't work. Oh, I guess Torpor Orbs work, huh? Is the thought. Okay. So, now we should be pretty good to go. Unmoored Ego. Removal from red. Could deal with it because of the prevent damage, right? You saying because of Stomp? So just slowly pumping these up every turn. Again, doing this during their main phase, so it comes back during their end step, so I can do it again on my turn. Reckless Rage or Dromoka's Command away from winning this game. And actual attackers, a good way to do it too, though. Yeah, definitely Fox. For sure. I like this archetype a lot. I know we've had a bad run with this, but I think this deck's still very good. I think a lot of our bad run is related to how this deck is built, and we could fix that. The green splash at a very real cost in these aggro matchups we played today. They're saying you can stifle like Oracle's enter play triggers Ajani, or you can stifle it exiling the graveyard to begin with. Those are the things people are saying you can stifle. Tails End does counter Jace as well. That's a good call. Hey Shepard, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the third of a year. Having a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're at. Hey, for Red White Feather. Sounds good, Fox. That build looks pretty reasonable. I might throw some Gideons in the sideboard. I like Gideon in the control matchup. I think Gideon's probably better than Hazoret. Your main deck's pretty reasonable, though. 18 threats, 16 to 20 threats. Good middle. So since the removal's mostly red, I don't have to worry about them discard spelling. I'm gonna wait to play the Hoplite out until I can target it with a spell to protect it. I should have let on this though, right? Not the Temple Garden. It's a small mistake. I'm gonna have to shock myself later now. So I can't actually prevent damage from this. Yeah, you're good, Sunshine. I assumed. I don't think you specified, but I assumed. Hey, Eli, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. Let's make sure you have a sword for when you're in here so you can chat. Wow, that's like really good for us. So kind of getting punished here for my mana sequencing because I can't currently double red spell this turn, and I'd really like to. I think I just 10th district and pass. But I have to like pump the brakes here because I didn't play Sacred Foundry on 1 basically. Like if I'd played Sacred Foundry on 1, I'd get a hidden for 5 here. Again, small mistakes compounded by my mana base being a little bit worse, costing us percentage points. No blocks if they attack. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's just play this in race. I think I'm reckless raging here. Otherwise, we're losing this race. Yeah, I'm not sure Bone Crusher's worth it, Fox. I think I'd rather have Magma Spray for both the efficiency and the ability to exile against, I think I actually just let this happen, right? Because, like, their thing still dies if mine dies. So I think I just let this happen. And, like, save my God's Willing for something else there. Like, I still get a Scry here, too. Because, like, if they have another burn spell, they kind of blow me out. Blossoming Defense. Huh? I think I just attack here. If they don't block, how do we feel about just like defense plus Swift Justice, gain infinite life? Perfect. So they're going to 12, and then we can likely kill them next turn, depending on what they do. Hey, thanks for the 17 months, Negative. I appreciate that. Welcome back. How do you feel irrationally sad when you have 2 scries, but you have to top both? I mean, like, it means you have a good card. Don't be sad. Don't be sad. Be glad. Be glad you have a good card. That's really good. in for Dromoka's command. They have 1 card left. We're in a pretty good spot here. I always feel rationally sad when you have 2 scries, bottom both, and still draw a bad card. Yep. Yep. All right, who we banging? We're down to 4 here from the dragon. Do I just cash in for lifelink at this point? I think I do. I think I do this. And then we Swift Strike it. Yeah, I'm going to keep a haste threat. Oh, no! Oh, no! It's non-combat damage! Oh, I've made a terrible mistake. Yikes. Oh, and I should have lifelinked it first, right? Wow, that was... God, it's been incredible slops. This league's been super sloppy. Yeah, this league's been... There's been a lot of... Oh, wait, that's bad moments. This is all non-combat damage, which fighting counts as. And I could have gained 7 more, right? Like I'd be plus 7 life right now, which would mean even I think what I did is still the right play. I just needed to lifelink first. I would be plus an incredible amount of damage if I had life-linked first and, like, let the damage happen. So I should have life-linked, hit them, and then fought post-combat is what should have happened, but didn't. I'd be plus, like, 8 or 9 points of life. This was a great draw, obviously. I mean, if they don't brick, I deserve it, right? I messed this game up pretty badly. I fought the Exerted Glorybringer because I forgot that my thing was going to shrink, like I just talked about. And if my thing didn't shrink, it was hitting them for 7, which put them on a 2-turn clock. So I fought their Glorybringer because I thought I was going to gain a bunch of life and put them on a 2-turn clock. And that didn't happen. All right, we got out of it anyways. So actual record in that league was pretty bad, but my play was also pretty awful too. So pretty happy to scrape by. I think seeing the green splash in a range of more aggressive matchups means I think I don't want it. While Dromoka's command is pretty reasonable and Blossoming Defense is good, the cost of these lands on our health total definitely compounded in a number of the games that we play. I think if I do want more protection in the main deck, Ajani's presence is probably fine for cheap interaction at least, so. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, 3-color mana bases and fetch formats do also cost you some life, right? Like like in modern 3-color decks frequently start at like 16 or 17. Like that's about where you start here. Like sometimes you start at 14, I guess, but that's not that different. Baka Nation, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So yeah, so I am going to replace the Pioneer Featherless on my site with a straight red-white one. I don't think the amount we gained from the green there was offset appropriately by the amount of damage we took. All right, what are we doing? We're diving on in to some standard up next here. When I'm going to hit a quick ad roll, I get everything flipped over. When I get back, we're going to be playing some Sultai Henge. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.